Hello! With this video I would like to share some of my experience which I gathered once I covered about 65,000 miles or 100,000 kilometers with my electric car. These are the things I wish I knew before I bought my electric car. Before I bought my EV, I had a lot of questions. Will it suit me? I have about 200 miles commute to my office and back. How often will I have to charge? How long I can drive without a stop? How long those stops will take? How long it takes to charge? And how I'm gonna live with it? There was a lot of questions and many people couldn't answer. I watched all the videos on YouTube. I tried to find those questions and I couldn't find anything. And now 65,000 miles later, or which is 100,000 kilometers later, I can share my experience, what it is to live with EV as your primary vehicle for the family. I am Simonas, welcome to my channel. It was late 2021 and I needed to make a decision what my next car will be. And I watched a lot of videos on YouTube. I tried to understand how people live with EV. I probably watched all the videos I could, for me just to make the decision. And I wish that people covered those topics which I'm going to talk about now. Usually they have like a review, how long it takes to drive, how long it takes to charge, and so on and so on, what's the maximum speed and what's acceleration and such. But they never talk what is really to live with it. I had no previous experience with EVs. I had no idea how often will I charge at home or outside of the home, how often will I use public chargers. And for me, the most important thing was that I would never have to worry about the charging network and charging infrastructure. I had absolutely no idea how long it takes to charge a car on the public charger. What's the difference of these? Which one is fast, which one is slow, how to differentiate those, what I really need. One of the most important things which you have to remember is that if you have your drive at the home and you can charge at home, majority of the time, probably 99 or 95% of all your charges will be at home. Many people ask how you charge your car, where do you charge it, how long it takes. My answer is very simple. It's exactly the same as your mobile phone. Where do you charge your mobile phone? How long does it take to charge it? And when do you charge it? So the answer is when you're at home and sleeping. How long does it take to charge your car? 20 seconds, 10 seconds to plug and 10 seconds to unplug your car. The most important thing which people always forget, but the most efficient way to keep your batteries longevity and to make it last longer is to keep your battery between 10 and 80% of a charge. So how long does it take to charge 50 kilowatt hours? Imagine I arrive home with probably 20% or even less, with 10% of the battery, and I need to charge it back to 80%. In that case, I will need approximately 7 hours. Very simple. Another easy calculation is that the battery is charged about 9, maybe 10% per hour. So in that case, you can as well do your maths and calculate how many percentage points you need to add and how long will it take. If you're thinking about what kind of charger to install at home, one most important thing is you do not need anything more than 11 kilowatts. Probably you don't need anything more than 7 kilowatts, especially if you have only one car. I covered 100,000 kilometers or 65,000 miles. I always charge at home with 7 kilowatt charger and it's always the same result. I plug it in, I forget it. In the morning I wake up, I unplug my car and it's always full. That's the most compelling and best thing about EVs. You always have full tank. You always are ready to drive another 250, maybe 300 miles non-stop. So how long does it take to charge your car at Tesla Supercharger? If you will arrive to your fast charger, and the fast charger talk about 150 kilowatts or more, with battery being about 10%, with a good precondition, like preheat of a battery, and if you will charge up to 80%, which is the most sensible way to do it, it will take you about 20-25 minutes. If you have to wait for 25 minutes, yeah, it is a long time. But if you arrive at the car park where you have a services, or you have a shop, or you have a cafe, and you just go and like taking, if you travel and you stop for toilet break, you walk to the toilet and back, you will be surprised how long does it take. Very good exercise would be, once you travel anywhere outside of your home and you need to stop at the services, try to use a timer, and once you leave your car, press the start and press the stop once you're back in your car after all your break activities, whatever you do. You will be surprised how long does it take. It will be probably in the region of 15, maybe 20 minutes. So that's the time when you will arrive back to your car, and it will more or less be ready for your next drive. In last 3 years, we had 2 very long trips from UK to Spain. It's a more than 2,000 miles return trip. It was a blast. It was super easy. You just drive there, you stop at supercharger, you charge for 25 minutes. In the meantime, you grab your coffee, you grab some snack. If you need, you go to the loo, and whatever you do. In the meantime, once you do all those things, car charges. Another thing which you will learn if you have an EV is that all electric cars, they have a database of the chargers in the navigation. So if you need to travel somewhere far away and it's not enough power to reach your destination, if you plug in your destination into the sat-nav, the car will guide you through chargers which are on your route. So you will never actually have to look for a charger, because car behaves that way, that it always knows how much juice it is remaining in the car and how much you can drive more, and it will guide you from one point to another if needed to. As an example, if I travel to Cornwall from where I live, I get 1 or 2 stops which tells me where I need to stop and for how long to charge in order to reach my destination and arrive with set amount of a battery remaining. One of the questions what you have most likely is, how much does it cost to drive with electric vehicle? As mentioned, most of the time, probably 95 to 99% of the time, I charge at the home. At the home I have quite a good tariff from Octopus Energy, where we give super low tariffs at the off-peak. What it means, so from 11:30 to 5:30, I have 7 pence per kilowatt hour. What it means, if I would need to charge my battery from 0 to 100%, which would be about 77 kilowatt hours maximum, that would be a little bit more than a fiver, and that is enough to drive more than 300 miles in one go. If you charge at the superchargers, or if you charge at the public fast chargers, that's slightly different story. Supercharger price will be probably between 30 and 40 pence per kilowatt hour. Other networks might be up to 70 or even 80 pence per kilowatt hour, depending on the network. Some of the networks are more expensive than others, and of course, you want to have some apps like ZapMap or Electroverse, where you can see where your nearest chargers are, or where are the chargers on your route and how much does it cost to charge them. Another very good app for EV owner to have is a Better Route Planner. Even if you don't have EV, you can try this app. That gives you a very, very good display how life of EV would be for you. So what you can do, you go there, you type in your starting point, your destination, the type of a car you're looking at, or whatever type of EV you want. So you can choose even Volkswagen ID3, for example, or you can choose Tesla Model 3 like I have, or you can choose any other car. And a Better Route Planner will draw all the route for you, including all the potential stops for the charging if that is needed. What's very good with it is that it has very good information on the car battery capacities and the charge rates and the charge speed at the chargers. So you can actually build all your trip from start to finish and back home, for example. And in that case, yeah, you will know exactly how is it to live with an EV. In my experience, going from petrol engine to EV was super easy. It was so easy that if I knew how easy it will be to live with electric car, I would move much earlier. I would just change to electric cars and that's it. I know that I will never ever go back to the petrol or diesel cars if it will be an option to have an electric car. For me, it's very convenient, super easy, and I don't see the reason why I shouldn't. So that's one of the things for you to consider. I know a lot of people who moved from standard petrol or diesel engines to electric cars, and the conclusion is that life is much easier, it's much cheaper to run, there is much less of maintenance, and there is much easier to live with it. If you want to talk about maintenance, it's easier to be with electric car than it's compared to any conventional petrol or diesel engine. But one thing is there are much less moving parts, so there are much less points where the car can brake. With the car I have, there is no mandatory yearly services, there are only recommended services. And during that recommended service, what they do is just they check the brakes, they check the brake calipers, they check the brake pads, they check your brake fluid, they check the tire tread depth, and they replace cabin air filters, and that's it. One thing to remember is that electric cars, they use single pedal driving quite oftenly. What it means that once you lift your accelerator, your foot from an accelerator, the car kind of brakes by using engine braking, which regenerates the power back to the battery. Because of this, you quite quickly learn how to drive, and you almost never touch the brake pedal. Because of that, your brake pads are used much less, so you don't have to change them that often. So you have much less maintenance on this regard as well. There's one thing which I learned after 100,000 kilometers or 65,000 miles is that I don't really need to drive for 6 hours non-stop. There is no point for torturing myself, and every 2 or 3 hours I would stop for recharge. I will have a small break. I will just do whatever I want to do. Sometimes you just go to the toilet, grab a coffee, maybe grab a snack, return to your car, and the car is ready to drive. So that's one of the things which you learn once you have an EV. All it is just very short breaks. It's really not an issue with a charge, and you don't need to charge as often as you think. You should never ever look at remaining distance of your battery. You should look at the percentage of your battery remaining. The remaining distance might vary from various reasons. Is it windy? Is it even wet outside? What is outside temperature? Most importantly, what speed you're driving at. The better way is to use the percentages on your battery. And this comes back to the same thing I mentioned about mobile phone. When you have mobile phone, you don't want to know how much screen time is remaining for you. All what you want to know how much battery is remaining. So you're looking at the percentage of a battery. The same goes to the electric car. For me, what I learned is that once in a while I have to go for about 160-mile one-way commute to the office. To reach my destination in the summer, it takes a little bit less than 50% of the battery. To reach my destination in the winter, it takes a little bit more than 55% of the battery. That's what I learned, and that's the numbers I know. So if I need to leave from home to my destination, which is 160 miles away, and I know that I have more than 70% of the battery remaining, I'm 100% sure I will reach that destination without any problem. I will still have remaining battery. Another thing what you will learn when you have an EV is that EVs are very quick. Please don't judge me. This is my very first video I'm doing about this thing, so I don't know how it will end up, and I will try to do my best It's new thing. I'm very rusty. I don't do these things often, so I'm just trying to launch this channel. So let's see how it goes. I would appreciate if you would press that like button and maybe that subscribe button. I'm planning to release a few more videos about electric cars and what I learned and how we live with them and the things which sometimes annoy me, the things which I don't like, the things I think could be better, or the things I really like and really love, and I would love that other car manufacturers would have exactly the same with other types of engines. If you would be interested in that, please leave a comment. Just tell me what are the topics you would like to know, what the questions you have. I would be more than happy to answer to those, if it makes sense, because I've drove my car now 3 years, 100,000 kilometers. I learned a lot. So please leave a comment and let me know what you want to hear. Many thanks.